Good Wednesday morning, everyone, and welcome into today's daily Bible reading for October the 30th. Today we are reading together Psalm 127. The 127th Psalm has been given the title in my Bible, The Blessing of Yahweh, the Blessing of the Lord. It is, once again, a song of ascents, and we are told that this is a psalm of Solomon, that this is written by Solomon, which will tell us immediately that this is certainly a wisdom psalm, as well as I believe, a confident psalm. It is wisdom to recognize that God gives everything and that we should put confidence in Him for everything that we need, everything that we have. So let me go and get that text up on the screen for us. We'll read along together here. This short psalm, just 5 verses, although it is probably a psalm that we are somewhat familiar with concerning the section, especially about children. It's probably something that we would recognize, and even the first couple of verses, particularly verse number 1, it might be familiar to us as well. So reading together here, not 129, I was working on that earlier, 127, the blessings of Yahweh, a song of ascents of Solomon. Verse number 1, Psalm 127, unless Yahweh builds a house, its builders labor over it in vain. Unless Yahweh watches over a city, the watchman stays alert in vain. In vain, you get up early and stay up late, working hard to have enough food. Yes, he gives to the one he loves. Sons are a heritage from Yahweh, offspring a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the sons born in one's youth. Happy is the man who has filled his quiver with them. It will never be put to shame when they speak with their enemies at the city gate. Psalm 127. So we have here a couple of ideas that are working together. Number one, this psalm speaks about true dependence, recognizing just how dependent we are upon God. There's another idea here about God's will being the thing that ultimately matters. There's another idea about making God the main thing, recognizing that dependence upon Him. Also, another thought of these things that are mentioned here: building something, having security, having a family. All of these things are in God's hands and not our own. The first couple of lines: unless Yahweh builds the house, unless Yahweh watches over a city, meaning that ultimately, the building of things, the security of things, they belong to God. If God is not involved, then these things will ultimately fail. In verse number 2, in vain you get up early and stay up late, working hard to have enough food. So what are we talking about here? Don't we have to work in order to eat? I mean, yes, of course, the New Testament teaches us that very clearly. If man doesn't work, neither should he eat. So we need to work. We need to be busy working to provide for ourselves and for others. So I think the idea here then is more so just living a frantic type of lifestyle in order to eat, because there is great blessing in sleeping. Yes, he gives sleep to those he loves. Well, having sleep can in some way symbolize the idea of having peace. So you have here a peaceful life against a frantic life. Those who live frantic lives, who are never settled, who are never able to be at peace, those who are never able to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Well, that's not a lifestyle that anyone wants to live. That's not an enjoyable life. But what we recognize here is that when people are able to slow down and do what's necessary to provide for oneself, but also able to enjoy the things that have been provided, then they can also sleep. Then they can also be at peace. Of course, many people associate Ecclesiastes with Solomon as the preacher there, speaking of the son of David. And within that text, you see that as well, that there's nothing better than to eat and to drink and to be merry and to enjoy the fruit of one's labor. Again, living this frantic lifestyle, the rat race, being involved in that and never getting to enjoy what you have, well, that's just no good. But what we recognize, though, is that God, in giving these blessings, in giving, shelter, protection, food, sleep, even a family in the next few verses, these things are good. And we should enjoy them, and we should praise God for blessing us with these things. Verse number 3, indeed, sons are a heritage from Yahweh. We see a heritage. We see offspring are a reward, that the person who has many children, a quiverful, is happy and never put to shame. Again, where do these things come from? These things come from God. He gives the blessing. So whether we're talking about shelter, whether we're talking about protection, food, sleep, family, all of these things are dependent upon the blessings of God. Now, you might think as well that if you want to do these things well, if you want to build well, to have shelter well, to enjoy protection and food, sleep, family, all these things, do these things the way God leads us to do these things well. So build your house. Again, we're not talking just about shelter, like the actual structure, but build your family well. Pursue food in a godly way through honest work. Trust in God's protection and not your own. And be able to sleep at night peacefully, knowing that you are in right standing before the Lord, having put your faith and trust in Him. The families that we have, raise them and lead them and guide them in godly precepts. Again, all of these things are built upon a foundation of God. And who better to be able to express these thoughts than Solomon? Because actually, he didn't do these things very well, did he? No, he didn't. What he built not according to God's way. He did not have security within his kingdom as he ought to have, because he did not do things God's way. All the women that he married and had children with, he did not do that God's way. So who better to learn from, both from a positive perspective and a negative perspective? Who better to learn these things from, both from a positive perspective and a negative perspective, than Solomon? For he had the wisdom that God graciously gave to him because he asked for it. But then we see that wisdom unfortunately neglected, leading to his ultimate downfall and ruin. So may we take these things written by Solomon today, recognizing that the wisdom that comes with putting confidence in Yahweh, recognizing our full dependence upon Him, that He needs to be the main thing, and that His will ultimately matters, and all these things are in His hands. These are things that we are led to think about today, reading here in Psalm 127. If you have any questions or comments about this psalm, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Appreciate you reading along with me today on this Wednesday morning. We're looking forward to seeing everybody tonight for our continued Wednesday special study series. Bill Watkins will be leading us in a study on the triune nature of God. And we look forward to hearing him, and we're thankful for some good healing from his recent back procedure. Look forward to being with everybody tonight and sitting at his feet as he teaches us from the Bible this evening. Also want to wish a very happy anniversary to to Zach and Mia Bostic, their, let's see, fourth wedding anniversary today. And got married back in COVID world of 2020, but it was a beautiful wedding, and we're very thankful for them and thankful for the way that God is blessing them in their marriage. Happy 4-year anniversary to them. Again, thanks for tuning in today. We'll see everybody tonight and be back reading again on Friday from Psalm 128. Blessings for those who fear God, another song of ascents. See you then. Take care and God bless.